Welcome to TradeTheNBA.com. This is John. This report is for the 19th, and October 19th. It's some people a scary day. I don't know why. We're just doing much of the same thing, and of course we have the debate tonight. So we've been waiting, and everyone else is waiting too. So once we get some clarity, we do have though the ES with the orange below the red, so it's just a matter of a tick down here in the steel and we could get a significant market buy signal. So we'll be looking for that. Wouldn't be surprised coming off the debate, the final strain of pressure will be off and clarity, as they say, will resume. NQ still doing better than S&P at this point, and the Dow, having moved right back up into line with all of them, has not done the same dip below with the orange DOC. So a little bit of divergence in the overall readings, not terribly significant. Euro's still down at the bottom. Those starting to get a little bit of a base. Again, not ready yet because it hasn't moved below with the orange. So wouldn't expect any pop to be of significance. And bonds having major dive, fighting back a little bit. I wouldn't be looking for much of anything there. You know what? We don't have the orange on this DOC. We should put it on there because it's relevant. And it's always important to have that. So we would go to inputs and we activate the orange by just putting a 1. Then we go to color to make sure the color is right. Because normally it'll show up blue unless we select the orange, because the orange is a custom color. And then, like I said, you need to go to style and make it a little thicker, just like that. And then instantly it will pop on, and there it is. So you can see, caught right in the middle between the cyan and the red. It's not going to have any sustained life. Not to mention minus 20 on that shakeout. You really want to be on the inside of negative 12 if you're expecting any kind of a rally. And here we go again with this one. I don't know if my chart's not saving it correctly. I have to have a chat with it. Let's do the same thing with the color. And it's good because then you can see how easy it is to do some of this adjustment without any effort. Don't need the white so much anymore, though the white still is valuable. I just try to not have a billion lines on there to make it as easy as possible to understand it. And you can see right there, still riding with a little bit of weakness, though, we could be at a point where the shakeout begins to move back above the yellow line there, which would be significant. We've not moved to an oversold quite a while on oil, so there's still plenty left in the tank, so to speak, pun intended. And gold, yeah, that's not going to be sustainable for a while, so that little pop is going to fade. And again, it's the same thing with the DOC. I'll change that one a little later. And the 5K is what we were talking about. So I pointed out before we had the nice little dips with the orange below the red. Steel comes down, we're inside. Same situation happened, when I say inside, we're above the yellow line here. In this case, we're over the yellow line, so always above it. Secondarily, with a nice pop, and then we moved to a brief little short. We had quite a range up there when the shakeout got so far above, particularly with the magenta and red. That can sometimes lead to extended play, and it did. In fact, it turned, then we ended up with the exact same dip. Boom, shakeout, histogram above the yellow line right there. And then it's interesting because it turned red right here, even though this was right at the point. If I bring this up a little bit, you can see the red, and then the cyan. The cyan was just above red there, but then very next bar, boom, it dips below the red line, which is always bullish, so we expected a little continuation there. It wasn't until the DOC spread came in here, or more precisely, right when the steel dips below, cyan is usually the first indication of a beginning to fade, and at that point I usually look for these positive extremes to get retraced. And at that particular point, you were looking at somewhere around the 2136, which didn't take long because that turned out to be the open of where the DOC spread actually starts. So there you have it. And then cleared Cascade, and then I was talking about it. We saw the Drudge Report headlines and some of the new videos on voter fraud from O'Keefe and that. And I think that actually had some impact on this market move and caused us to completely fill back in the dip below. Well, the red line had already been solved on the lower low, but higher readings from the extreme histogram. But we still have some positive extremes all the way back. I mean, this one right here was just been filled, and that only leaves right here, which was the 2750. Let's see what the low was right here. We got to exactly 2750. So it already filled them. So it did exactly what I thought, backfilling the full pump. And that's just because there's uncertainty right now. And so until that's clarified, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get these little pops in that, and that's just a matter of using the volatility to scare out some weak hands. There's no real impetus to do anything right now until clear idea. If there's nobody collapses or faints and there's no major gaffes or revelations, then I think the market will probably start to move back to that upside. We're poised for it. So it's all set to happen. It's just a question of does something surprising happen? And that's the only fear the market has, is the unknown, because they like to pay and know everything. And that's why we follow what the money does. Anyway, that's the long and the short of it. As always, though, look for me on the Skype chat. I'll continue to put the charts up. Trade well.